Hello, everyone, and welcome to Indiana Golf Magazine. I'm Brian Hammons. The boys' high school golf season is now underway, and a familiar name is once again considered one of the state's best. The Westfield Shamrocks are in the French Lick Resort spotlight. Last year, the Westfield Shamrocks won the state championship by a record 30 shots. But they lost their two stalwarts, Jake Caesar, now at IU, and Will Harvey, who won the individual championship last year, who is now playing at Purdue. But at Westfield, they just reload. And once again this year, they're a favorite to win it all.
We had 6 guys really in our lineup last year, and we lost 2. Two very well-known names with Jake and Will, and obviously performed at an incredibly high level all season. But we've got quite a bit of experience back, plus some younger guys that are now kind of stepping into some new roles and have had great summers. So yeah, we're pretty excited about what's to come this year.
The Rocks are led by senior Ryan Caesar, who was All-State last year alongside his brother Jake. 2 other seniors come back with championship experience, Mitchell Keene and Hudson Kutchma. It's a tight group, top to bottom.
Most of our guys in our top 8, top 10 have played together middle school. When we were younger, we played together, grown up around each other. So we just built that bond and that friendship, and our culture is just top notch. So we're tight, and we're just going to go out there and compete and try to win, do our best.
Westfield has become a bit of a golf dynasty. They finished runner-up in the state for 3 consecutive years before last year's championship, and they're showing no signs of slowing down.
I mean, it's just a golf community, and the school system supports golf. I like to say, feel like our program is continuing to grow every year with more kids coming out. We got a lot of kids that are finding golf now in the middle school. That are playing other sports, and so when you have when you've got families within Westfield that are that are growing up at clubs, and we've got the city bought Woodwind, and that's really helped us, and then of course Bridgewater and Chatham, families growing up there, it just it naturally creates numbers, and we just try to be good stewards of all those numbers coming out.
That is quite a program they've assembled in Westfield. We're starting a new feature this month, Golf Destinations, brought to you by JEL Golf Travel. Each month, we will highlight a golf destination that just might intrigue you. And we begin with a world-class destination that you can drive to.
I'm Josh Levitats of JEL Golf Travel, and this is your featured destination for the month of April. And this month we're heading somewhere very familiar to a lot of people, which comes on every April, and that's the Masters. Very close to Augusta National is a destination that is unlike any other. Home to 7 championship golf courses, all publicly accessible. If you stay at the resort, it is Reynolds Lake Oconee just outside Augusta, Georgia, and what a destination. Let me tell you, like I said, 7 championship golf courses. You have a 5-star resort at the Ritz-Carlton if you opt to stay there. There's also private cottages on property for buddies trips, and it's truly a remarkable experience, given that you have the golf courses, but you also have a culinary experience that you can opt into. You have a sporting grounds, and you also have one of 2 tailor-made facilities called the Kingdom in the United States, where you can have club fitting, lessons, and really everything that TaylorMade has to offer. So I encourage people to book travel to Reynolds Lake Oconee, not just around the Masters time, which is a little bit short notice right now, but again, 6 to 9 months in advance. The fall out there is unlike anything other. You have the leaves changing, and it's truly a remarkable destination for your avid golfer. On a scale from 1 being the least expensive trip to 5 being the most expensive, Reynolds Lake Oconee comes in at a solid 3. There's obviously a lot that goes into a golf trip at Reynolds Lake Oconee, with it having 7 publicly accessible golf courses. But our typical 3-night, 3-round package would come in at about $1,800 to $2,500 per person. If you're interested in setting up this trip or any other trip of your liking, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at GelGolfTravel or on our website, gelgolftravel.com, or email me personally, Josh at gelgolftravel.com.
It's time now for our Golf Performance Academy Tip of the Month. And as Mike Asbell tells us, if we really want to improve, we need to track our stats.
Hey everybody, Mike Asbell here, Director of Player Development at the Golf Performance Academy here at Golf Club of Indiana. I want to talk to you guys. We're getting ready for the season. I want to talk to you guys today about the importance of performance tracking. This is something we really emphasize with a lot of our players. Now, you can go as basic as you want, but the importance of tracking such stats like fairways, greens, putts, how your up and down percentage. That's just a simple way to kind of identify some areas that you may need to work on as you're moving through the season and in your practice. You can get a lot more advanced with it if you're looking to shave off those fractions of a stroke. One of the things that I always look at are my putts per green in regulation. So how many times am I converting those birdie putts, or how many putts do I have on the times that I'm hitting greens in regulation, making those scoring putts, things like that. I'm looking for that to be somewhere in this 1.7, 1.8 range. That usually gives me a good amount of birdies to combat some of those maybe accidental bogeys that I make along the way. You get into misses left or right. That's just going to kind of help identify some areas of where, hey, I have a tendency here. So that will help improve whether you're playing, where you can aim, what targets to look at, knowing where your misses are tending to be, then that helps us be able to avoid some of these bad misses and bad areas where it makes it harder to save those strokes and make par. The bigger one here is strokes gained. You'll hear this a lot of talk about they talk about on the telecast in the tour events. Those guys have a lot more information, but strokes gained is a simple way, and it sounds a little confusing, but it's a simple way to kind of identify where you're losing strokes to the general field. Okay, putting is a simple way to do it. There are a lot of apps that help with you, things like 18 Birdies. I've been a big fan lately of the Shot Pattern app, Decade Golf. They just are able to allow you to kind of easily track. All you really need to know is kind of how far away you are. So when I track my stats, I'm always trying to keep track of what was my approach yardage in, how close to the hole did I get it to, on that shot, what was the distance of my first putt essentially. And then from there, it opens up Pandora's box of where am I missing those shots, where am I losing strokes. I can look back through it, and after even just a few short rounds, 3 or 4 rounds, I can start to see a pattern of, man, I really need to work on this distance, or I really need to work on this kind of putting. I'm noticing patterns and I'm noticing deficiencies. Now I can tailor my practice to become more efficient and score better. This is a great, useful tool. Get with a coach like our staff here at Golf Club of Indiana or your local facility. They can help you kind of work through this and understand what you need to be tracking. Best of luck this season, and we'll see you on the golf course.
In this month's By the Book segment, we learn what is considered out of bounds and what options we have if we are.
Hi, my name is Nathan Nichols-Petersen, and I am the Junior Golf Director here with the Indiana Golf Office. And this week's video, we are going to be going over out of bounds and kind of going through our options here on what you can do if your ball's out of bounds, but also seeing, if you're really close to that line, if your ball is in or out of bounds. So I have 3 different scenarios here taped to the board. So I have this ball right here. You can see here, if we go stake to stake, all parts of the golf ball is on the course edge or the course side of the golf course. So this ball would be considered inbounds. This one is a little bit of a tricky situation. We look here, if we go stake to stake here, the main thing we need to focus on is if any part of that golf ball is touching the inside edge or the course side edge of the golf course. Looks like here half of it is out of bounds, but then half of it, or even a sliver of it, is touching that inside portion. So this ball would be considered inbounds. And then this last ball here, you can see the entirety of the golf ball is on the out of bounds side of that stake. No part of it is on the inside course edge, so this ball would be considered out of bounds. Now, there might be a lot of golf courses that also have a white line down as well as their stakes. If there's a white line down compared to white stakes, that white line is going to take precedence over any of these white stakes, so we're just going to use the physical line down. So if any part of your golf ball is on the inside edge or the course side edge, even with a line down, that ball would be considered still in bounds. And a couple options if your ball is actually considered out of bounds. You can always go back and take stroke and distance. That's really your main option, is to take stroke and distance or re-tee or just re-hit where you were with a one-stroke penalty. And then if you're kind of on the fence, you're not entirely sure if your ball is out of bounds or if it's in bounds, you can always hit what's called a provisional golf ball to get another ball in play, and then go from there to see if your original ball is in bounds or not.
Here's what's coming up in April. The tournament season is finally here, and among those being played in April, the four-man Team Stableford at the Country Club of Indianapolis, the Southern Open on April 13th at Champions Point. The Mid-Am Team Championship takes place April 19th and 20th at Old Oakland, and the PGA Club Car Stroke Play Championship is April 23rd at the Warren Course at Notre Dame. And it's sure good to see tournaments back on the schedule. That will do it for this episode. I'm Brian Hammons. Thanks for watching, and join us again next month for Indiana Golf Magazine.